everyone doing this morning? Good. Good, thank you, good. My name is Frankie like I said. I am the founder and CEO of Lexington Capital. We are an alternative financing brokerage located in Center Reach, New York. So we're right down the road, we're right by Buffalo Wild Wings, the big red brick building, if you guys know of it. It used to be the old Capital One. I'm 26 years old. I'm a Newfield High School alumni. I graduated in 2016. I really wanted to come down and speak to you guys here today because I wasn't in your shoes, just like your principal said, not too long ago. I'm only about like 10 years, give or take, a little bit older than you guys. And I'm here to basically just tell you guys that anything's possible with a little hard work, determination. You guys can really accomplish anything in your life. And the biggest thing, because I know how stressed out that you are as 11th graders, is that you do not by any means necessary need to have anything figured out today, tomorrow, in a year from now, 5 years from now, even possibly 10 years from now. All right, so today here, I'm gonna basically go over everything like that. I'm gonna go over my life story, kind of my come up story, how I got here, the trials, the tribulations that I went through, and through the sheer hard work, persistence, and never giving up, you too could really accomplish anything that you want in life, all right? So I'm gonna kind of just start with my story. So born September 2nd, 1998 in Selden, New York. When I grew up, I believe that there was really nothing special about me. I was an athlete, so I played baseball, I played football throughout middle school, high school, the whole nine. And like I said, I didn't think there was anything that special about me. I didn't think I was that smarter than anybody else. I didn't think I was that better looking than anybody else. I didn't think that I definitely wasn't taller than anybody else. If you look at me, 5'6", 5'7". So moral of the story is I just didn't think that there was anything much more special than me than anybody else. I graduated with like 370 people, and I was probably about like the 87th in the class, give or take, right? So I was like a B plus, B minus student. And then from there, I went on to college, and I ended up at, where did I go? I went to St. Joseph's College, my first semester of college. And do you want to know what happened in my first semester at St. Joseph's College? I failed out. I failed 4 out of my 5 classes, and then from there I was just kind of like, whew, okay, maybe I can't do school, maybe I can't do this, maybe I can't do that. You know, maybe I should just start working with my hands for a living. My father was in the lumber industry, so I got a job at a local lumber yard because my father made a living for my family doing that, so I figured, hey, I could do that too. So that's exactly what I did for about a few weeks. And you know, I was doing the job, and like every single day it was just dawning on me when I was waking up. It's just like, I feel like I'm just so much more special than what it is that I'm just putting out here right now, you know? And I will never put down blue collar work because my father does it, his father did it, his father did it before. That's how New York was made. That's how this country was founded, was through blue collar work. And I'm sure most of your parents do work a blue collar job, right? So nothing wrong with that. I just felt like maybe I was meant to do more in this life. There was more that I could give to others and the world and our country, right? So I decided to enroll back in school. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I was just like, let's just enroll back in school. So like 1 or 2 days before the cutoff, I was able to get back in that second semester, and I ended up going to Suffolk County Community College. And from there, I just worked really hard. I just studied every single day of my life, like literally every single day. I would go home, I was a psychopath. I would study. I think I put more time and effort into Suffolk County Community College than anyone ever has in their life. And I ended up getting an A that first semester in all my classes. Second semester got all A's in that second semester. Third semester got all A's. Then I applied and transferred over to Stony Brook University at the College of Business. All right, so I got in by like the skin of my teeth. My overall average after getting like A's for 3 semesters in a row was still like a C plus because I did so bad that first semester. So thank you, Stony Brook University, for allowing me to even attend your university because I don't know why you guys did that. But anyway, and I was always an entrepreneur. I was always a hustler. I was always very good at saving and storing my money. So I was opening up businesses left and right kind of throughout my college tenure. All right, I've done a lot of different things. I've opened up a lot of different ventures, and I failed at every single one of them. Every single thing that I started, besides Lexington, was an utter failure. I fell flat on my face. I did not succeed. But I don't regret it, and I'll get into that in a little bit. So my first business that I started I was in Stony Brook at the time. I was about 19, 20, 21 years old, give or take. I'm 26 right now. And the business ended up falling flat on its face. It was my first business. I had a partner. And I'm not here to make excuses, but there wasn't necessarily anything that I did completely wrong that made the business fall flat on its face. Just something went down with our partnership, and it didn't end up working out. And like, to be quite honest with you guys, like, I was very crushed. And the reason why I was so crushed is because all I ever really wanted to be, like, it was just an entrepreneur, you know? So my first business not working out, like, it was very frustrating, it was very heartbreaking, and the worst part about it was that, like, I told everybody about it. So, like, my family knew about it, my friends knew about it, all social media about it, because I was posting on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, I was on it, and I was posting about it. And I was just a complete and utter failure to everybody. At least that's what I thought. And for days and for weeks, I was just sitting there like contemplating, like in my room, like, what do I do? You know, like I could either like run and hide from this town for the rest of my life, or I could get up and I could do this and I could try again. And that's exactly what I did. And I just continued to try and to try and to try and to try and to try. And throughout my college tenure, I probably opened up like 5 or 6 businesses, and then like 2 more after that. And every single one of them failed. Every single one of them. And the funniest part about it though is that I don't regret one single thing that ever happened throughout that. And the reason being is because I learned so much, and I got so much real life and real world experience. And if I didn't fail all those times, I wouldn't have been poised enough to grow and scale my company right now, Lexington Capital Holdings, which I will get into about what we do in a few minutes, because you guys are probably like, what the heck do you guys do? So I don't regret one thing that's ever happened to me, one bad thing, one failure, one person laughing at me, one messing up a job and having to reimburse a customer, losing a partnership, losing friends, like anything that ever happened to me, and it ended up poising me to be ready to grow and scale this company. And that's why I'll never regret one thing that's ever happened to me. And although it's maybe a little hard for you guys to see it now because you're a little bit on the younger side, any bad thing that's ever happened to me in my life ended up being good. It's just a matter of whether it took a few days, a few weeks, a few months, a year, 5, 10 years for it to end up being good. But it eventually ended up being good. When I was looking back at it, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so happy that I went through that, and I went through those trials, and I went through those tribulations, because I just grew so much as a person. So just know if you guys are going through something like really rough right now, that right now it stinks, and I completely get it. I'm here for you, and I'm sure there's people in your life who are here for you. But just know that you're going to wake up, whether it's a day from now, a month from now, a week from now, a year from now, 5, 10, 15 years from now, and you're going to be like, wow, I'm so happy that happened to me, because I grew so much from it, and I learned so much from it. I'm such a better and well-off person because that I did that. Or because I went through that, I went through the heartbreak, and I went through the pain, and I went through the failure. So moral of the story with life, guys, is just try. Just do it. All I am is I'm an utter failure that just tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried over and over and over and over and over again, until eventually I kind of succeeded, right? And even modern day, with a very successful company, I still fail every single day. You could ask my teammates. I'm not afraid to look stupid in front of them. I'm not afraid to take chances. I'm not afraid to make mistakes, because what mistakes allow you to do is they allow you to grow from them, right? So I'm sure some of you guys play sports and stuff like that. It's like in baseball, like if you don't swing the bat, you can't hit a home run, right, guys? But at the same token, you're probably going to strike out more because you swung the bat more. Does that make sense? So in life, try, don't give up, persevere, and don't really care what anybody says or has to think. And I've learned that throughout my life, and any single thing that's happened to me, it has ended up being good. It's just a matter of really when that happened. All right. Now let's talk about my company. All right. Let's get to the good parts. All right. So I own Lexington Capital Holdings. We are a business loan broker. All right. So what that means is we help small to medium-sized business owners obtain financing. All right. So that means, like, if you ever heard of lines of credit, term loans, equipment financing, AR financing, asset-based lending, SBA loans, everything in between. All right. So to break it down a little bit more simpler for you guys, we all know what insurance is, right? We all know Geico, Allstate, State Farm. Can I get a yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. He's engaged. All right, so Geico, State Farm, Allstate, right? They're all insurance companies. All right? So there's people who broker out those insurances. So that's the same thing that we do. So like, think of if you just went to Geico for a quote, okay? All you're gonna get is you're gonna get Geico products. So Geico might not work with your certain state that you live in. They might not work with your driving record. They might not work with your home record, right? That's why you should work with a broker, because the broker has a platform of different products. They have a platform of, they work with State Farm, they work with Allstate, they work with Geico. So they're able to kind of bring your profile to all these different insurance providers and get you the best quote and the best bang for your buck, all right? And all of your parents or whoever your guardian obviously has some sort of insurance. So I would say to them every single year at the end of the year, make sure you shop on insurance, because things change, prices raise, and you never know where you could find a deal possibly with another company. So that's some advice that you could give them, all right? So that's exactly what we do for business loans. So we are paired up, and we have relationships with probably about 60 to 70 different banks and alternative lenders. And basically business owners come to us to obtain financing, and we pair them up with the best lender or bank that matches their qualifications. So like, for instance, like their credit score, all right, their time in business, their revenue, their industry, and the state that they live in. Does anybody know what a credit score is out of, like the points wise? Does anyone know?
7.
Close, close. Anyone else?
Wasn't it like 614?
So it's 300 to 850. 300 to 850. What's up? You got a question? Yeah, there you go. That's the highest you can have. 300 to 850. That's just a random sidebar. But so based off of all those qualifications, guys, we pair the business owner up with the best lender or bank that makes sense for their situation. All right, so it's really cool, and it makes me feel like just very good about myself that we help small to medium-sized business owners obtain financing, because small businesses make up about 60 to 70% of our economy. My parents both work for small businesses. Your guardians also too probably work for smaller businesses. So if smaller businesses weren't around and there was only Walmart, Target, Amazon, and all these big name corporations and stuff like that, first off, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Second off, a lot of people, good people, would be unemployed, right? So the fact that we're able to help small to medium-sized business owners grow and scale their business, it makes me just very happy. Another reason being is because it's a lot harder to obtain financing as a smaller business, right? Big banks, big large corporations, Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, TD Bank, all these guys, they like lending to bigger corporations, right? Like imagine Jeff Bezos went to Chase Bank for a loan. They want to lend to this guy all day long. They probably give him any dollar amount that you have. My company or a smaller company, like a construction company, doesn't have the same luck, all right? So that's where we come in and we're helping out the little guy, and helping out the little guy is very important inside of the world, all right? Slight other tangent. Make sure you're always good to people. You need to be good to people for two different reasons that I've learned inside of business and inside of life. The first reason why you should be good to people is because it's the right thing to do. It's morally and ethically correct, and it's the right thing to always do, all right? So obviously always do right by people. The number two reason why you should always do right by people is because you never know what they might become, okay? If you were to have asked, and I'm sure they'll touch on it a little bit, my teammates, if you would have asked anybody I went to high school with, anybody I grew up with, if Frankie D'Antonio was going to accomplish what he's accomplished in 26 years of life, they would have laughed at you. They would have absolutely laughed at you. And to be quite honest with you, I would have too. 10 years ago, I was sitting exactly where you guys were, watching somebody talk, and I never would have thought that I would be up here speaking to others. I really never would have thought it. I had a smaller mindset back in high school. I didn't think that I could accomplish what I've accomplished today. Now, I've changed my whole perspective on things. And now I think big, I dream big, I have really big goals, I have really big ambitions. And the more that I dream, the more that I think that I can accomplish things, the more that I say things out loud and execute upon it every single day, these things just kind of seem to happen for me. Have you guys ever just thought about something? Like you're at the beach, you're driving a car, and you just thought about something, and then it happens? It's had to have happened to you guys. Because it happens all the time. And there's different words for it, right? Some people call it the law of attraction, speaking things into existence. Anyone else got a word for it? You guys are younger, you guys got cool words, right? No, nothing? All right. So just speaking things into existence. And you'd be surprised, guys, that if you just really think that you could accomplish something, you work really hard at executing upon it every single day. You say it out loud, you say outlandish things out loud. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna accomplish this. Like your guardians are looking at you crazy. Your peers sitting right next to you look at you like you're crazy. Then you're actually on the right path, and you're on the path to greatness, because no one ever thought that I could accomplish what I'm accomplishing. No one ever thought Jeff Bezos could accomplish what he accomplished. No one ever would have thought that these special people inside of the world could accomplish the things that they accomplished. But that one person did, that one person believed in themselves. So don't sleep on yourself. True wholeheartedly believe in yourself. Believe that you can accomplish anything, that you can achieve anything, and then execute upon it every single day. And say very outlandish things out loud to people. I want your guardians to look at you like you're crazy. Say things like, I'm gonna be very successful, mom and dad. I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna be the president of the United States. I'm gonna become a doctor. I'm gonna be the first doctor in the family. I'm gonna be the first lawyer in the family. I'm gonna be the first this. I'm gonna be the first that. I'm gonna be the first this. I'm gonna be the first that. My parents are the greatest people on the face of the earth. But when I would say certain things to them, they would look at me like I had 5 heads. And rightfully so. As a lower middle class person, which most of us in this room are, and exactly what I was when I was growing up, you have a smaller thought process on things, right? You don't really think that a kid from Selden could become a millionaire. You don't really think that a kid from Selden could become a billionaire. You don't think that a kid from Selden could become the president of the United States. You don't think this, you don't think that. Then you start realizing that it is possible. It is possible, and I've had to convince my parents throughout the years, through my actions, because I just kept accomplishing outlandish things, that, wow, maybe this kid really is special. Maybe he really can pull this off. And I know today they're very big believers. So yeah, guys, just believe in yourself, and you could really accomplish anything you want in this world. Have big hopes, have big ambitions, have big dreams. At the end of the day, if you put your goals and ambitions up here, and if you fall just a little short and you end up here, you're not going to be that upset with yourself. You're still going to be very happy. So that's why I shoot my goals very, very, very high. And if I fall a little bit below, how could you really be upset, right? So now to get back to my company. I know I go off on tangents, guys. I know. All right, so we fund small and medium-sized businesses. Yeah, cool, whatever. What's cool about it is the story behind it. Okay, it is the greatest come-up story of all freaking time. Okay, I'm just going to sit here and tell you guys that right now. So we started out in about 1,000 square feet office, would you say? About, I wouldn't really call it an office. So I rented out a warehouse because I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and I didn't have the resources to rent out a nice, beautiful office. So I rented out a warehouse. It was about like 1,000, 2,000 square feet, and I supplemented the income, and I rented out the back to a guy who did auto repair, like mechanics, like brakes and oil changes and stuff like that. It's like very loud noises, very bad smells, fumes, like black and dust everywhere, and like those guys were renting out the back of my office, quote unquote. And when I first started the company, I brought on about 4 or 5 people, and what's it called? I'm sorry. So I brought on about 4 to 5 people, and what's funny enough is before that is I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I'm trying all these different things and stuff like that. I was going to open up a pizzeria. So Ryan Shao over here, our vice president of sales, he was going to come with me to the pizzeria. He was going to be my manager at the pizzeria. Are you happy we didn't do that?
Absolutely.
I'm happy too. So he was going to be my manager at the pizzeria, and then I called Ryan up one day because like the plan's in action. Like we checked out the place, like about to put the deposit down, like we're about to get this thing rocking and rolling. So like he's like lining up. He had a job, so he's like lining up, like all right, like I got to put my 2 weeks. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I call him up one day, and I'm like, hey, and he's like, what's up? I'm like, this is going to sound crazy, but we're not doing the pizzeria anymore, the restaurant. And he sounded so upset, and you could tell in his voice. But like, and I told him, I was like, well, we're gonna do something else. I was like, we're gonna get into finance. And he was just like, okay, all right. And Ryan's always been a ride or die. So I know after that phone call, he was a little bit upset, but I know you're not upset now, so it's okay, right? So I told him that we're gonna get into finance. And then from there, I called a few other people. I called Corey, director of finance over at Lexington. I called my sister, because you gotta get your family involved. And 2 others who aren't with the company modern day. And I was like, hey, this is gonna sound crazy, but we're gonna get into finance, we're gonna become millionaires, we're gonna change the world, we're gonna shock the world. So let's do it, and we're starting this day. And that's what we did. So we got the warehouse, set everything up, the phone lines, everything, the computers, the keyboards, everything. And we just started doing it. And one thing that I thought I did a very good job of is I put very outlandish goals and dreams into my people's head. So I would always tell Corey and I would always tell Ryan, I would tell them very outlandish stuff. I would look them in the eyes and I would say, guys, in 2 to 3 years, we will be in a 10,000 square foot office, right now in a 1,000 square foot office. You guys will make $250,000 a year, which they make more. And we're gonna become an 8-figure company, which means that we're gonna do over $10 million in revenue, which we just hit 12 million in revenue last year in 2024. And this year we're expecting to around like 25 million. All right? So, yeah, now I got your attention, right? Now we're talking big bucks. So yeah, I mean, I was just saying these outlandish things to them, and I know that like they believed in me so much, and I appreciate that. But I also know that like somewhere in the back of their head, they were like, this guy's crazy. But we're just gonna keep doing this, and we're just gonna keep doing this, and we're just gonna keep doing this. And that's exactly what we did. And like, we just kept growing somehow. They kept making sales, we kept doing marketing, and we just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And every single time that I would profit a few bucks, basically what I would do is I would just hire somebody new, and I would hire somebody new, and I would hire somebody new, and I would hire somebody new. And we woke up like about like a year and a half into this thing, and we had about like 15 to 18 employees. So that was cool. You know, we grew and we scaled. We grew out a few different departments. And then we were kind of ready to make the transition to a new office because it was rough in there. All right, my AC broke, my heat broke. So like the last summer in that place was horrible. The guys, the gals, they were sweating. They were in some horrible working conditions. But that's kind of what the startup phase is like, guys. And if you're going to do anything great, it's kind of like that. And if you look at any great company and where their foundation started, like let's look at Apple. Apple started in, does anyone know where Apple started? Come on. In a garage. There you go, dude. There you go. I started in a warehouse. Great job. Amazon, same exact thing. Started in a garage. All right? All these great companies, if you look at their origin stories, they all come from this weird, crazy startup mess. And what's cool about our company is we kind of came from the same thing. And that's why I know that we could accomplish the same goals eventually. I have those ambitions, I have those dreams. I do think that we will be a Fortune 500 company one day. I do think that we will go public one day. I do think we will be the #1 company in regards to market cap in the United States of America and inside of the world. I believe that. I believe that I'm better than Jeff Bezos. I believe that I'm better than Elon Musk. I believe that I'm better than the late great Steve Jobs. I believe that. Is it true? Clearly not, because I'm nowhere near them, right? But I still believe that I can be that great. And that's why I have the chance to possibly do it, because I believe that I can do it. And at the end of the day, guys, if I fall short of becoming Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs, did I really fail in life? I didn't really fail. All right. So we grew. We got out of the gross warehouse. I felt so bad for what we call our ladies that work at the office, our Lexington ladies. And I feel so bad for them. Taylor, my sister. We didn't have a lot back then. A lot more women work for us now. But yeah, the bathroom was disgusting, it was gross, we were sharing with the auto repair guys, like, they are really some troopers, and I appreciate that. There was flies everywhere, like, you couldn't go to the bathroom without, like, flies in your face, it was so gross. And then I knew that I had to, we saved up some money, I knew that I had to move us, like, immediately, like, once I had the money to do it. So I moved us, and now we're currently at 2100 Middle Country Road in Center H, the big red brick building. Some of you guys might hang outside the back there, I probably see some of you guys there. Stop hanging out over there, I'm just kidding, do whatever you want. But, what's it called? So yeah, so we moved, and then we got into a really big office. The office in total was 10,000 square feet, but we only occupied the front half, which was 5,000, and we didn't fit in the 5,000. So I was like, all right, we got 5,000 square feet. I was like, we got to get some people in here. So I just continued to keep doing what I was doing. When we would profit, I would hire, profit, hire, profit, hire, profit, hire, profit, hire, profit, hire, profit, hire. And then we woke up. We're 3 years and 3 months into this thing. And we have 50-something employees, and we got the second half of the office. We have all 10,000 square feet, and we're slowly growing into it and making it a home. So, just the growth of the company is just something that's so phenomenal. It's so spectacular, and I'm going to dive into why it's spectacular here right now. When I first opened up the company, as you guys could tell, I didn't call up college scholars. I'm a Stony Brook alma mater, just so you guys are aware. I have an MBA, my master's degree in finance from Stony Brook. And I didn't call up Stony Brook, who I'm very close with, and I didn't say, hey, I need to come to your next job fair. I got to recruit some people to come to my company. All right? I called up people that I knew, people that I went to high school with. I called up Corey, who I went to high school with. I called up Ryan, who I went to high school with. I called my sister, who I've known since the womb. And I called up other people that I've known for a very long time. And none of them have a degree. None of them have a financial background. And that's what's really special about it. So about 80 to 90% of our staff are either from Newfield High School or Center H High School, okay? We like to hire kind of from within. There's about 8 or 9 women who work for the company. 8 of them have brothers who work for the company as well. We have cousins who work for the company. So we really kind of try to keep it a family affair. And to this day, I still don't hire at college fairs. I don't go on Indeed. I don't go on Glassdoor. I don't try to poach people from other companies. I don't do that. What I do is I hire local hometown kids who I think deserve a shot to being successful, who I thought weren't given the best opportunities in life, they weren't dealt the best cards in life, and I kind of want to rewrite their history, and I want to change that. And that's exactly what I did. So, for instance, Corey, he was a mechanic before he started working here. Ryan was serving tables at Ruggieri's in Wading River, if you guys are familiar. My sister just graduated college, so she actually, besides me, is probably the most educated at the company. Besides Grizzly, he also has his degree as well. Typical person that works for us, came from Walmart, busboy, waiter, what else do we got?
Blue collar.
Just blue collar. Just people that didn't really have a direction in life, were kind of just going day by day, kind of just going through the motions, and didn't really think that they were that special. But I thought they were. They were looking at themselves every single morning in the mirror, and they were just like, all right, I'm Robbie. And I'm like, no. I'm like, you're Robbie. You're special, dude. You're gonna be a special guy. I see it in you. And that's what we do. So we hire local hometown kids that, it's funny because I don't look for this, so it's kind of, you can't access on a job interview, is your life messed up? But a lot of these kids' lives are very messed up. They have broken homes, a parent not in their life. They've had something in their life that kind of, not held them back, because I don't think anything in your life should hold you back, right? But something existential that not every single person had to deal with, right? And they had to overcome that. And they did. And we were also here for them in that situation. So a lot of our kids didn't necessarily have maybe a father figure in their life, whatever the case may be, were raised by their grandparents, and we were able to come in and we were able to show them love, we were able to show them compassion, we were able to show them that we care about them, that we believe in them, that we're here from them, that we'll do anything for them. And that's why the culture at our company is just so beautiful. It's such a beautiful thing that we've really built here at Lexington Capital. Everybody loves each other, from employee 1 to employee 52. It's something that you can't find. It's very hard to put, because there's like 300 of you guys in the room, right? I'm sure, I'm not even gonna say this. Basically, all 50 people love each other, all right? And it's very hard to put 50 people in one room and everybody is genuinely a good person, right? Usually you're gonna have like 1 or 2 stick in the muds, 1 or 2 people who don't have the right intentions, right? But that's not the way that I hire. I can see kind of in somebody's eyes when I first meet them, like, are you a good person or if you're not a good person? And I don't care if you're a stud of a person and you're gonna make 1,000 sales in one day. If I don't think that you're a good person and you have a good heart, I will not hire you, okay? My hiring qualifications are very simple. Be a good person and give life your all, and I will hire you and I will give you a chance. At Lexington Capital, we don't really fire people either. So the only way that you could really get fired is if you don't care and if you don't try. That's literally, or if you lie to us, right, guys? Inside joke. But yeah, always be truthful, always be honest. And those are the people that we hire. And there's a lot more training and time and effort that goes into making an employee good who has never had any industry experience. It's a lot tougher from a management perspective. We have to train them every single day. We put a lot more budget into them. We put a lot more time and effort and dollars into them, but it's well worth it for a lot of different reasons. And for one, they come out very loyal on the back end because we were able to give them something that they were never able to achieve. They never thought that they could get into finance. They never thought that they could make 6, 7 figures in a year. They never thought that they could do this. They never thought that they could do that. But we showed them that they can. And what I say to my team is, I look them in the eyes and I'm like, dude, why do I believe in you more than you believe in yourself? Nobody should believe in you more than you believe in yourself, guys, all right? You need to have the utmost confidence in yourself. But that's kind of just how it is when they first start. Because let's be real, I'm sure some of you guys have jobs. When you first started your job, you had no idea what you were doing. So it's very hard to be confident in something that you've never done before in your life. It's very hard. But what's messed up about it is that you have to be. You almost have to do like a fake it till you make it kind of thing. And eventually, if you work hard and you're persistent, and you try and you study, you can be really good at it. It's funny how it works. So it's like the guys or the gals who come into my company who are very confident in the beginning, whether they know what they're doing or not, end up being very successful. So it's something that we just try to push on. So I'm like, listen, like if I believe in you, dude, you need to believe in yourself. That's just kind of how we are. And the culture that we build is really cool, guys, bless you. So the culture is really cool that we build. You know, we do stuff together every single weekend. For instance, last weekend when we rented out a room and we went to Dave & Buster's. One weekend we rented out a party bus and we were dancing and partying, and we went to a winery. We go to sports events together, we go to concerts together, we get food together. We do a lot of things together. And the reason why we do a lot of things together is because we are very tight-knit, we are a family. And also, great minds think alike. And whether you guys know it or not, there are some people in your life, friends, family, that hold you guys back, whether you know it or not, by the things that they say to you. And we don't do that. You know, we think that every single person who works in this company can be successful, that you are special, that you are perfect, that you are going to make a great life for yourself, for you, for your family, for everybody. And that's why like-minded people seem to gravitate towards like-minded people, and I feel like that's why every single person who works at our company gravitated towards each other, because of the fact that we all think alike, that we all have the same mindset, that we all have that same mentality. And that's also why I love hiring from our local hometown community. Because this town, Centering, Selden, Coram area, wherever you guys are from, it's very gritty. You guys are very hardworking. Your guardians are very hardworking. And it's not like these other towns. It's not like Setauket. It's not like Mount Sinai. It's not like Sayville. It's not like these other schools, guys. I know what a lot of you have been through. I know what a lot of your parents have been through, what a lot of your guardians have been through, and I get it. But guess what? You're gonna come out better because of it. In my opinion, the luckiest person in the world is a lower middle class American. I'm gonna tell you why. A lower class American, like very, very, very low, they don't have a lot of tools and resources to become successful, right? They're born very poor, so it's kind of very tough to kind of make up for that and become successful. But they still can, it's still American, you can still do it. Rich people, problem is if they get handed down stuff, typically they don't have as much grit as a lower middle class person. They don't have as much gusto. They don't want it as bad as their father did, who came up before him, or their mother did, who came up before them, and put the time and the effort into becoming successful. Okay, they didn't have that inside of them, right? That's why the lower middle class person, I think, has the best chance of succeeding, because you had just enough where you had tools and resources to go to college, to get an education, to try this, to try that. Maybe parents could pay for your sports, they could pay for this, they could pay for that. You had just enough to skate by. But you didn't have enough where you were spoiled, rotten, whatever you guys want to say after that, you know? So, lower middle class, and that's exactly what probably 90 to 95% of you guys are in this room. It's really good. And no matter what happens in life, guys, whether you were born poor or you were born rich, you need to play with the cards that you're dealt with.